Hey, what's up everyone? So we are back here with the top 10 destruction video series, and we are going to try and attack some of these elite level kings that are in the top 10. We just left off with rank number 6, who was Kips, and we actually knocked him down to rank number 7. We are going to try and attack number 5 here, NV Lin. So he's giving us a good amount of gold. Right now, currently, a lot of the players are going to be always online because they are on different versions. So hopefully we can get in here. He has a very similar base to Kips. The only difference that I kind of noticed is he has more towers on the left over here. And Kips kind of had this kind of set up as a huge death box. So we'll see how this one works out. Kips also didn't have towers up in the top. So this is a little bit more scattered. Tons and tons of Firebolt towers in here. He has a lot more mummies versus our blasters. So you can see the Elite 10 have similar bases because people pick and choose different parts of their bases and they copy each other. Have different wave setups and different tower setups, but the base layouts may look very, very similar to each other. But again, this is going to be a completely different fight because of the waves and the tower combinations. So even though the base does look similar, you're going to have to adjust your strategies accordingly. We are going to bring in Pyromancers this time. And we are going to take out the Paladins, because the Paladins really helped us against the R-Blasters, but he has very little R-Blasters here. So, we're going to go with a Pyromancer instead. That will help us with the mummies, help burn down the mummies, and then also the Firebolt towers. And unfortunately, he is currently online, so we will go back and look at the rank number 4. So Soren M. Lots of loot here. Again, a very similar base. You can see the exact same layout, completely different tower and wave structure, just like I talked about. Gargoyles and skull towers. So for this, we're going to go ahead and put Frosters in instead of Pyromancers. And we're going to go give it a go. We put the Frosters in so we can help with the Skull Towers. And also slow down the Gargoyles. Fortunately, he is online, so he's probably on a different version as well. So we go up to the rank number 3. Humdrum Bug, and we actually have a different base layout here, so this is something cool. It looks all mumbled jumbled, but it is very effective. He has a lot of choke points. So there's 3 big choke points right there. Tons of Firebolt and mummies, so we are going to go back with Pyromancers. And again, this is why I haven't done many of the top 10 destruction videos, because we are in different versions, so I can't really attack a lot of the players. And it is also very, very hard to attack the top 10 players because other people are trying to attack them or they're playing a lot. So again, he is online as well. So it will always say that you are online if you are in a different version. Or they could actually be online playing themselves, or someone else could be raiding them. So there's a lot of possibilities for getting that always online text when you try to attack one of the top 10 players currently. So connections there. A lot of nice choke points. This is masterE's base, who's actually number 2 right now currently in the world. And we're going to see if we can attack him. We're going to keep it the same with Pyromancers. And we actually can. So here we go. We have a rank number 2 masterE in the top 10 destruction series. And we're going to go and try and get 100% here. We are going to drop our Time Warp Scroll right away, because we need all that extra time that we can get. It also makes these skull towers way less effective. You can see we also slowed them down even more, I believe, with the frost gloves that we have on our hero. So Time Warp, and it appears the Frost Gloves or Frost Sword dramatically slows down the attack speed, and so it makes those Skull Towers pretty much useless. Which is great for me, horrible for defense. So I'm wondering if you're going to want to typically do a lot more Fireball Towers and Snake Towers rather than Skull, because I would imagine that most players are using the Time Warp Scroll as an attacking scroll, you know, in these elite levels, because again, time is of the essence. So we are calling our troops, just trying to recover a little bit and get our spells off of cooldown. I don't really see any Snake Towers in here, which is interesting. I definitely would have expected a lot more Snake Towers. Go use our third Time Warp Scroll, if I recall correctly. But we still have a long way to go, so even though I haven't seen any Snake Towers in here, he has made us use 3 Time Warp Scrolls, 2 Blessing Scrolls. We've already spent a lot of gems to go through his base here. We have finally just now reached the exit, and I don't believe there's actually any Snake Towers in here, which is surprising. Really, really surprising, because in my opinion, those things are just the best tower and so deadly currently in the game. But you know, maybe he knows something different. He is again the #1 player in the world, so we will just have to, you know, play catch up and figure out what he is doing correct compared to the rest of the world. Oh, there's the Snake Tower way off to the side. Interesting, very interesting placement there of his Snake Tower. But it does do a tremendous amount of damage. So maybe that's the thing, is that he knows that if he puts a Snake Tower up in the top left corner, that he really won't get 100%, because if they go over to try and attack that Snake Tower, they're going to just devour their life. And by the time they get to the castle gate here, they have very, very little life. And I would imagine that in the elite ranks, when you're trying to fight for 1 and 2 trophies, if you get a 98%, you don't get a trophy. Or if you get 96%, you actually lose a trophy for attacking. So it could be a very strategic position right there. Like, see, we got 96%. We only took 13 trophies. And we ended up getting a whole bunch of medals. But we did spend a lot of gems and a lot of pearls. So I'm pretty sure, thinking about it, it is a strategic placement of that Snake Tower right there, just so that players really can't get 100% on him. And if they do, they're going to die or spend a lot of scrolls up there trying to get that extra 100%. But again, I don't know. I mean, he is the best player in the world typically. He's almost always ranked #1. So it is kind of surprising to see him down at rank #2. I know he's been floating around in the last couple of days at like rank #1, rank #2, rank #3. And I believe a lot of that has to do with the iOS not being able to attack many of the elite players, because they're on, again, different versions. So he can only attack certain players, and maybe those players aren't giving him any medal or any trophies at all. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. That was masterE's new base currently, and we will try and get the rest of these videos out once the alliances come out for iOS.